кидаешься-то?
А ты кто?
Кузька, домовые мы. Сперва добровольцев в баньке попарь, накорми, напои. Сказок не знаешь, что ли? Поприкая пошла.
Фаня я!
Domovenok Kuzya, a name that instantly sparks nostalgia for anyone who grew up watching the gentle magic of Soviet-era animation. This little house spirit, with his messy hair, wide, curious eyes, and kind heart, has remained one of the most beloved characters in Russian animated history. His story, filled with warmth, humor, and quiet lessons about friendship and kindness, continues to enchant both children and adults decades after its original debut. The story of Kuzya isn't just about a small creature living behind the stove. It's about the soul of a home, the invisible magic that keeps people connected, and the innocence that helps us see beauty in ordinary life. In the original series, Domovenok Kuzya lives in an old rural house where he takes care of the home and watches over the people living there. He's mischievous but deeply good-hearted, always trying to make things right even when his curiosity causes trouble. What made Kuzya so iconic was the simplicity of his character, a little being who just wants to be loved and belong somewhere. Unlike modern animated heroes full of power and ego, Kuzya represented humility and care. He was small, shy, and a bit clumsy, but his heart was always in the right place. The way he spoke, his soft voice, and his expressive eyes made him feel like a real friend, not just a cartoon character. Over time, the story of Kuzya evolved, bringing in new adventures and emotional depth. The themes of loneliness and belonging became central. After the old house is abandoned, Kuzya feels lost and wanders into a new world that doesn't understand his old ways. Modernity feels cold to him, full of noise, machines, and people too busy to notice little spirits. This contrast between tradition and change is what gave Domovenok Kuzya its lasting emotional power. It wasn't just a fantasy tale, it was a reflection of how people felt during times of transformation, trying to hold on to warmth, history, and kindness while the world moved faster and faster. As updates and adaptations continue, Kuzya's charm remains timeless. Modern versions of the story often explore new artistic styles and animation techniques while preserving his spirit. Animators have taken great care to keep his personality intact, the gentle humor, the emotional innocence, and the deep sense of wonder that defines him. The new generation of viewers now meets Kuzya in digital form, but the emotional heartbeat remains the same. He still teaches that a true home is not about walls or furniture. It's about love, memories, and connection. One of the most beautiful parts of Kuzya's journey is how universal it feels. Even outside of Russia, viewers resonate with his story. The idea of a little guardian who quietly takes care of a home feels ancient, like folklore shared across cultures. Every country has its version of a house spirit, from brownies in Scotland to kobolds in Germany, but Kuzya stands out because of his tenderness and childlike sincerity. His world is built not on grand adventures or battles, but on everyday magic, the kind that exists in kindness, gratitude, and family bonds. In newer retellings, we see Kuzya adapting to the modern world, sometimes living in city apartments instead of wooden cottages. These stories highlight how even old spirits can find a place in new times. The focus is often on how people have forgotten to notice the small wonders around them, how we move too fast to appreciate home, love, and quiet moments. Kuzya's role becomes that of a gentle reminder, helping people slow down and rediscover the warmth of simple living. The message is powerful. No matter how advanced or digital the world becomes, we still need a little Kuzya in our hearts, a symbol of kindness, care, and the unseen magic that keeps life beautiful. Fans who have grown up with Kuzya often describe him as a childhood friend they never forgot. His episodes, though short, left a deep emotional mark because they carried a kind of wisdom hidden in simplicity. There were no loud colors or over-the-top soundtracks, just gentle music, soft voices, and emotional honesty. This quiet tone is what makes Domovenok Kuzya so special. In today's world of fast-paced animation and high-energy stories, Kuzya feels like a calm voice, reminding us that beauty doesn't always need noise. Sometimes it's in silence, in laughter shared over tea, or in the flicker of a candle that warms an old home. Recent discussions and creative updates about the series show a growing interest in bringing back classic animation styles with modern storytelling. Artists and fans have started revisiting Kuzya's story with new visual techniques, blending nostalgia with innovation. The goal is to make him accessible to younger audiences while keeping his emotional essence untouched. The idea is not to make Kuzya louder or faster, but deeper, more meaningful, more relatable for people living in a world that often feels disconnected. There are also whispers of reimagined stories that expand Kuzya's universe, introducing new spirits and characters that represent different aspects of the home warmth, laughter, memory, and protection. These ideas aim to create a shared folklore that connects old generations with new ones. Kuzya, in this vision, becomes a bridge between eras, reminding everyone that even in modern apartments filled with technology, there's still room for a bit of magic. The artistry of Domovenok Kuzya has always been tied to emotion rather than spectacle. Every expression, every scene is designed to touch the heart. The gentle humor never mocks, it heals. The sadness never crushes, it teaches empathy. That emotional balance is what keeps Kuzya timeless. It's a reminder that stories don't need to be complex to be meaningful, they just need to be honest. In many ways, Kuzya's continued presence represents the survival of sincerity in art. Even decades after his first appearance, he remains a cultural treasure because his story speaks to something eternal, the need to belong, to love, and to care. New animations, whether they use 2D or 3D techniques, continue to honor this emotional truth. Each new project feels like lighting a small candle in the darkness, carrying the warmth of the past into the present. The music and atmosphere of the series also play a crucial role. Every note, every sound feels intentional, designed to create a sense of comfort and nostalgia. The soft hum of a kettle, the creak of a floorboard, the whisper of wind outside the window, these small sounds build a world that feels alive. Kuzya moves through it, not as a hero, but as a friend, a presence that quietly makes life better without asking for recognition. Today, fans celebrate Kuzya through art, animation, and social media, sharing drawings, edits, and even short fan-made animations inspired by his stories. This new wave of appreciation proves that his charm hasn't faded. It's growing again, finding new homes and hearts around the world. Many people who discover him now see him as a symbol of nostalgia and emotional comfort, something pure in an age of chaos. Domovenok Kuzya's story continues to remind us that even the smallest things can hold the greatest meaning. A forgotten corner of a home, a memory of childhood laughter, or the quiet presence of something good watching over us. All of these things are what give life its warmth. Kuzya is not just a character. He's a feeling, a whisper of the past that still matters today. As modern storytellers bring him back to life, they carry a great responsibility to protect the innocence and kindness that made him beloved. The updates and creative projects surrounding Kuzya show that this legacy is safe. The spirit of the little Domovoy still lives on, inspiring art, compassion, and imagination. Every new generation that meets him rediscovers what older ones already knew, that sometimes the greatest stories are the quietest ones. Kuzya's world is small but endless in meaning. It teaches that home is not a place, but a heart. And even though time changes everything, as long as people keep kindness alive, the spirit of Kuzya will never fade. His message is timeless: take care of your home, your loved ones, and yourself. There's always a bit of unseen magic around you, waiting to be felt. And that is why Domovenok Kuzya remains a living legend, not because of fame, but because of feeling. A story about a tiny house spirit who made the world a warmer place, one gentle act at a time.